Okay, now we're going to start the area of shapes. Since I did the area of the circle prior to this, I'm going to do area of a triangle, trapezoid, parallelogram. So bear with me. The area is half times the base times the height of a triangle. This is my triangle. This would be my height. It goes from top to bottom. And this would be my base. It's the bottom of that triangle. I have 8 centimeters and 14 centimeters. I'm going to do half times 14 times 8. Half of 14 is 7. And 7 times 8 is 56. And it's centimeters because that's the units they use, squared. Area is always used with squared. I'm sorry. Area is always squared units. There we go. I'll get it. All right. Next up, parallelogram. Parallelogram is the area times the base times the height. This is my parallelogram. Remember, it's that crooked little rectangle, or it could be a regular rectangle. In this case, on our formula sheet, it could be either one. But our area is the base times the height. And you're doing the base, and then you're doing the height. And in this case, they gave us 1.5 miles and 3.4 miles. And they gave us 3 4/10 times 1 5/10. And we get 5 1/10 miles squared, or squared miles. Remember, they could write it in words, or they could just write the MI with the square up at the top. And that is how you do that. Trapezoid is area is half times the base plus the base 2, base 1, base 2, and then times that height. The base 1 is at the bottom and base 2 is up at the top. If you switch them around, it doesn't really matter as long as those two get added together. And then 4 meters would be the height. So I'm setting up my formula to be half times 9 plus 5 times 4. And 9 plus 5 is 14. 14 times 4 times the half. I did half of 14 is 7. And then 7 times 4 is 28 meters squared. Next one. Missing side lengths. They may ask you this. I think it's a good information to know. The perimeter of the rectangle is 28 units. What is the width? So I already know that my perimeter formula is perimeter equals 2 times the length plus 2 times the width. And I have my perimeter, so I have my 28. I have my length, which is 9. This is the picture they gave me, or I drew it, I'm not quite sure. And then I have 2 times the width, and that's what I don't know. So I do 2 times 9 is 18. I want to get that W by itself. Now this is algebraic concepts here. I want to get the W by itself. I'm going to subtract 18. I have to do the inverse operation of the positive, which is to subtract it. Opposite of adding is to subtract. If I do it to one side, I have to do it to the other side. And 28 minus 18 is 10. And then I bring down my 2 times the W, and I'm going to divide it because the opposite of multiplying is to divide. And if I divide on one side, then I have to divide on the other side. And those 2's cross out, and 10 divided by 2 is 5. And my width is 5. And that would be my answer. Now your test is all multiple choice, so your answer is going to be in front of you. I wrote some steps down. Substitute the known values into the formula for the perimeter. Simplify and solve the equation for the W. The width is 5 units. So there you have it. Step by step, all written out. This would be the question that they would give you on the test. Give some others, right? There are 2 problems on here, so I'll put a line. I'll put 2 lines down there. What is the length of a rectangle whose area is 111.6 meters squared, whose width is 9 meters? Now they give you the width instead of the length. And we did area is length times width, or base times height. We have 9 times L, and we have 111.6. We divide that because the opposite of multiplying is to divide, and 111.6 divided by 9 is 12.4. That would be our answer, and that is one of our choices, so that would mean that that would be it. And you can see these are a little far off of the scope of what that answer might be, so that's the one you're focusing on. This one over here has a perimeter, a rectangle has a perimeter of 36 8/10 yard and a width of 9 6/10 yard. What is the area of the rectangle? Now pay attention. The question is what the area is. They gave you the perimeter and they gave you the width, but you don't know the area. So it's a two-step process. You have to think of these questions that they give you and what steps you have to take. So, first, I'm going to find out what my length is before I find out my area. And I put it in and I plug in the numbers to the perimeter. And then I have 2 times the length plus 2 times 9.6 equals 36.8. I subtract the 19 and 2/10 from each side, and then I get 17 and 6/10 equals 2 times L. And the opposite of multiplying is a divide. And I divided 2 on both sides because whatever I do to one side, I have to do to the other. And my length is 8.8. Now I'm going to take that and plug it into the area, because what is the question? The question is what is the area of the rectangle? So I haven't fully answered it, and if I hit 8.8 yards squared, that would have been wrong. So make sure you're answering the question that they're asking you on the test. Very important step. Length times width, 8.8 times 9.6, and I get 84.48 yards square. And winner, winner, chicken dinner, that's the answer I need.